Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome to today's stream. I'm just trying to test the mic to be very sure that you can hear me. So try to give me that feedback if you can hear me. You could just give me that feedback so that I'm very sure that I'm loud and clear. You can just text in the chat. Some people are still getting in here. If you can hear a sound, there is a sound playing in the background. It can be enough to actually tell you that you're loud and clear. Yeah, feel free to text in the chat. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so we're gonna start our session. Yeah, sure. I gave it about 15 minutes to see the people come up here. I understand it's Saturday and people must have spent time out longer as compared because the week um, was so long. So yeah. So we starting up today's stream. Yeah, and basically we're gonna start from where we stopped. Not gonna take you back into everything. Yeah, the first session we yeah sorry in the first session we covered quite a lot of things to give us an introduction. So uh, so now we're gonna pick up from there. Not to forget, these sessions are proudly sponsored by Achilles Acacio, is the greatest sponsor for that, and touring. That's from the Silicon Valley, Cavendish University, Uganda. That's within Uganda. Everybody knows the university. Cisco Networking Academy. Cisco is also from the Silicon Valley. Though there are academies in Uganda and in so many different countries within Africa, and Python Institute that is also working with Python in regards to when it comes to programming, especially Python, JavaScript, and all that. So yeah, so that's why you see that. So if you haven't yet joined the WhatsApp group for this show, you can basically join the WhatsApp group. It's basically for trainings and conferences. What happens basically? It's basically for that. So you could just join that, and so that we can uh, keep up with everything that happens and feedbacks and all that kind of stuff. It's much more easier that way. So we had already gone through quite a lot of things here. I went through the importance, and I told you about how Python is very important and how it's gonna be very important for you to to learn it. and also it's gonna put you up to speed when it comes to when you get employed out there. So I will advise you to give it as much time as possible so that you can just understand almost everything. And trust me, it's gonna be great. I remember around 2018, trying to put off this watch because it's distracting my hand. I remember in 2018, I was speaking uh, with the vice chancellor from the International University of East Africa. We're just having a conversation, and I remember telling him that, you know, I remember telling him that I'm gonna spend the whole year working on projects in Python, and by the time it clocks December, I'm gonna be invisible. And yeah, it surely happened. By the time it clocked December, I was invisible. I could write code on anything, whether I'm taking food within restaurants. I could, write code. So anyway, yesterday we tackled the agricultural produce pricing system, and I believe everybody got ideas of how to write a program. And I told you that I'm not going to take you back to the foundations of data types, and we only write the data types, or I take you to strings and we're writing a string. That is pretty boring. I call it boring because even if you're an amateur, even if you've never done programming, my style of training people to write code is really different, and it's real life, and it makes everything easy because it's project based. We work on projects. We do everything in projects, and then I get to tell you that, hey, that's a string, that's a data type, or those are operations. So it makes life easy than really spending all the time on strings. And that's what you're gonna find in most YouTube videos, and it's really gonna be boring for you, just to be honest with you. So just to check, the number is going up, 12 so far via YouTube, Twitch. Yeah, there's already one person there on Twitch. LinkedIn, yeah, sure, and Twitter, yeah, sure. So it's amazing to see that people are joining from different locations. Feel free to type within the chat area where you're streaming from. It's very important for me to know the coverage. Yesterday we had people coming from Qatar, from I had a friend from Colombia, from Canada. So yeah, so it will be good for me to see that you're coming from different locations. And let me try to put away this vibration uh, so that it doesn't vibrate in your ears with the mobile phone. So we looked at different problems. So we spoke about the market price fluctuation, the energy storage calculations, and we shall handle the data visualization. So today we're tackling the energy storage calculations. And one way to learn programming is to learn how to translate mathematics into code, because the significance of learning programming is to be able the importance is to be able to solve problems. So if you can translate mathematics, and yet mathematics is known to be definition of logic, how defining logic to solve a particular problem, uh, you know, and if you're able to write that in code, that means you're going to develop systems that can actually solve problems. So if you can hear me loud and clear, please, I want you to comment in the section, or send those hearts up flying on the screen so that I'm very sure that, yeah, you can hear me properly. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. This is for you. In the future streams, I'll not be posting on my WhatsApp or places or email telling you, yeah, we're gonna stream. You should basically subscribe so that you receive a notification that we're gonna be having a stream at a particular time. And when the stream comes, you basically refresh your screen and check the same channel, and you'll be able to see the updated stream, and you join. So we're going to tackle the energy calculations like I've mentioned, and I'll go straight down to the project 2 of the solar energy usage tracker. So this is what we're going to be writing. I understand I'm having a number of people coming from different universities. I'm having colleagues coming from Chambogo University, coming from Cavendish University. That is a sure deal. That's a sure deal. because I'm the manager of the Center for Innovation and Enterprise. So we always writing code in the office and all that kind of stuff. So I have quite a number of people who always come in and out, and they're so enthusiastic about programming. So yeah, so Chambogo University, Mackay University, quite a number of universities outside Uganda. So basically, in the chart, you could really drop in where you're coming from, and if you're at university, you could as well mention the university where you're coming from. Um, about our schedule, we shall be having every Saturday at 10 a.m. We shall be streaming, working on projects in Python. On Friday, 7 p.m., we shall be streaming in the evening, still on that. Monday, 7 p.m., we shall be streaming. And Thursday, we shall be having JavaScript streaming as well. I think in the evening, you'll be receiving those notifications. So basically, there are 2 days in the week where we do not stream. There are actually three. So that's a Sunday. Sunday, I'm focused on podcasts. I'm focused on speaking about climate change solutions, AI, and machine learning. So I don't get to do that. So Sunday we don't stream. Tuesday we do not stream, and I think Wednesday we do not stream. So the rest of the days we are streaming, and trust me, within a month or two, you're gonna be so good. Don't forget to recommend to so many people to join and be part of us. So let's go through the solar energy usage tracker. Let's try to tackle this problem. Now, I mentioned that in many African households, we do rely on solar energy, and solar energy is taking a lot of lead within Africa due to the unreliable grid electricity. However, without proper tracking of energy usage, households may not utilize their solar systems effectively. So, this program we're going to be writing will help users monitor their energy consumption, promoting sustainability and encouraging efficient energy practices. So, this is what we're going to be writing today. So, hope you like the problem at hand, and you could try it out with yourself and see. You could try it out. Yeah. So gonna be moving to the next stream, uh, to the next page where I'm gonna break down the problem, and then we go and start writing code, writing the solution where it is much interesting. Yeah, so if you find me pausing, just know I'm giving you a little bit of time so that you can put the problem into your mind and understand what we're going to be dealing with. So, like still I mentioned in the first session that we had yesterday, I did a technical breakdown. And I mentioned that in this problem, we're going to have to pull out a few things to understand how to tackle it. And I mentioned that even if you're a beginner, this is what you're supposed to do, because my videos are meant for beginners, intermediate, and experts to pick up a few things that can help them in problem solving, which is one of the biggest issues we have in our country, within our continent in Africa. We need to understand how to break down problems so that we can solve them. And when I used to teach, principles of software engineering, we used to speak about the methods of breaking down a problem. And I think we had a vertical and the horizontal, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. That will be for another day. So, anyway, so looking at the data types and variables. So the program is going to capture the daily energy generated and consumed using floating point numbers. So we're going to be using a float. Yesterday I mentioned a floating number is more like 20.0, 20.1, whatever has a point, that's a float. And an integer is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a dot. So that's the difference. uh, Allowing for accurate calculations of energy balance. And the user inputs that we're going to have here. So the program will prompt users to input their daily energy generation and consumption, which is crucial for assessing energy efficiency. For example, the daily energy generated equals to float. Then we shall do that input function, and then we tell the person to enter the daily solar energy generated in kilowatts per hour. So basically, that's what we're gonna be doing, and you know, uh, I hope everybody it rhymes with you very well. So get that technical breakdown well, because when you start writing code, uh, you need to be able to reference
And
back, you know, to that. Should be able to remember what we're working on, so that you don't get confused. You know. Yeah. So you could type in the chart. It will help me to understand that. Yeah, we are now ready. We're now good. Yeah. Some people were saying the video disappeared out. So I was trying to give them a new. But basically, you just need to refresh your browser and you're good. You know, just have to refresh and you're good. So technical breakdown, try to look at it and try to familiarize yourself with it, because the next part we're going to be writing code on data types, variables, input functions, and then we're going to be making those calculations. So yeah, everything should be able to rhyme with you properly and easy. So yeah, you know, so you should. Yeah, most people who maybe have gotten distracted because of the streaming link, they will be able to join. To join. Uh, the good thing, you can pull it behind, and you get to know what's happening. So they'll be able to do that. So yeah, so let's move to the next part. So this is where I always say thank you for being active participants, but it doesn't mean that we are done. It simply means that we are going to the next session. So I'm gonna be putting away this screen, and then I go right to the next part where I have to share my entire screen, and then we go to the programming part that is much more interesting to everybody. So yeah, so now I'm gonna share my entire screen right now, and yeah, I'm gonna come here. So anyway, this is how everything looks for me in here, but I think we are working from the demonstration folder. Like I mentioned yesterday, you simply need to create a folder where you're going to be working from. So you need to create that folder where you're going to be working from. And yeah, and I told you that you can install git bash. So since I'm not using my Linux operating system, I installed git bash so that I can have a command line kind of interface. But I'm not gonna use it much. I'm not gonna use it much because not everybody is familiar with it. Maybe in the future sessions I'll be able to use it so much so that most people familiarize themselves with it. so well. So I'll just do a code dot. So basically, the code dot, I'm basically calling the Visual Studio code in that particular directory. That's why I'm using a dot. And when I press enter, it's going to open up my project within that particular directory. And if I'm to do this, you'll notice that everything is in here for me. Yesterday, I mentioned how to, let me close this, let it not confuse you. I mentioned how to create a virtual environment, this virtual environment here. So today we're basically going to activate the virtual environment when we're writing our code, and we so that whatever we do, when we get to install anything, right now we're not installing anything, but when we start the installations, um, everything works out properly for us. We don't scatter things on the computer, but everything goes within the virtual environment, and that's why we say we have to say source. The virtual environment name is my env, and then we say scripts, because if you're working within Windows operating system, which is Windows operating system, you have to do scripts. But then if you're working in Linux, this has to be bin. And I told you how to find that. I've activated it here. You can see I told you that you just have to click here, and then you'll notice script. If when it comes to Linux, it's going to be bin and then activate, and that's how your virtual environment is going to get activated. So everything is activated. I can see that right there. So I'll basically clear this area, and I want to create session 2. So I'll basically click here, and then I'll call this session 2 dot py. So I'll just call it that for now. But then later in the future programs, we're going to be writing code, and I'm going to be, naming files correctly, like perfectly, like how we do it on a project. If I'm just to give you a hint, we use small letters when we're naming files like session.py. You could also sometimes you could even use an underscore and say session.py. So, but then you could also do session underscore 2 dot py. So we don't use capital letters when we're naming files. So please, you don't need to do that. That would be totally wrong. So you shouldn't do that. Yeah, so we're proceeding. Uh, Somebody's asking, is the live being recorded so that we can follow up later? Yeah, sure. You only need to keep up here and you ask questions where you can, because I'm live and I can answer your questions. And then later you'll come back to the video and you'll be able to stream it again. So you can stream it in any amounts of time you want, so that you get everything perfectly well. So the benefit of working live, being available live, it will actually help you to ask questions, to be guided. And this is not something that has been happening on YouTube. Most of the people that drop live, they're actually doing a lot of things at the same time. And here we're focusing on a project at a time. So that's the difference, basically. If you can hear me loud and clear, I want you to put those likes up, do the likes and the heart emoji, so that I'm very sure. And also, you can text in the chat that you're loud and clear. Yeah, so we're gonna work on our project. We're gonna move forward and we'll work on our project right about now. So I mentioned that commenting, writing comments is one of the best ways of writing code, and there's no software development company that is gonna hire you if you don't put comments within your code, if you don't organize your code properly. So it's one of the best practices uh, uh, for this. So we're gonna do an solar energy. Yeah, I don't have my book right next to me here, so I try to remember the PowerPoint slide. So solar energy usage tracker. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Tracker. So yeah, tracker. I'm using a separate keyboard to type because um, I'm not using a separate camera. I use my laptop camera. So yeah, so for that, so let's proceed. So what are we gonna do? So here we're going to write a function to get a positive float input from the user. So it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but hope you keep up with me. I'll just let people to get to this level within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then we move together. I don't want to lose anybody. Uh, I don't want to lose anybody. So I'm just gonna give it 1 second, and then we take it on. Sorry, just gonna give it a second. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at comments. What people are sending in here. It's interesting. I can see. Yeah, it's really interesting. Uh, so I'm just basically looking at what people are sending here. It's interesting. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I guess now everybody's with me. We can now proceed. I can see the comments from people and what people are trying to say. Yeah. So this is okay. It's okay. Um, so we're gonna deal with the solar usage tracker. We're gonna deal with that. So should be ready for that. Um, just a little bit. I think I could go back a little bit from what we heard yesterday, just to get people up to speed. Yesterday we dealt with the agricultural produce pricing system, and we defined the data types and the variables for this particular system, uh, just for you, because it's very important for you to look at the code that you're writing so that you can easily connect with yesterday. So we can even try to improve this code, then we go to our session 2, so it doesn't matter. So we came up and we wrote the data types and the variables. So we basically had the variables over here, we assigned them different values. For example, 30.5 is for the maize price per kilogram, then the beans price per kilogram 80, then the rice price per kilogram 120. So we assign them all these different categories, and after the different numbers, basically, or prices, I'll say. These are kilograms, it's not prices, the weight of the beans being sold, the rice and and the maize. So then later we did a basic input and output operations where we asked the farmer for the quantities for each produce sold. So the farmer was able to enter these different quantities of what he sold. And then later we performed operations where we calculated the maize revenue, the beans revenue, and the rice revenue. Then after we took the total calculation of the total revenue. This is just a recap. You can go back to that video for the first one so that you can see what we did. Then after that, total revenue, we came to do some bit of checking if the farmer qualifies for a bonus. That is, if a farmer is able to go beyond or to exceed a certain kind of threshold, which is like a cutoff point. And we set a cutoff point of 10,000, and then we did this kind of comparison to say that if a farmer exceeds, then this person will be able to get a bonus. Then we did the printing out of all these different in Kenyan shillings. Then later we wrote the logic to check whether the farmer qualifies for a bonus, and we we had a keep up the good work, you can qualify for a bonus, and that is if they exceed 10,000. 10,000. Then later we also wrote the average. We calculated the average price, which we did in this kind of manner, taking the historical prices, which were 1, 2, 3, divided by the length of the historical prices, and that's the calculation from mathematics that everybody knows, and it should perfectly rhyme with you. It should be very easy for you to connect with that and to purely understand what we did right there. Okay, so now let's go to the solar. Let's go to the solar right about now. I just wanted to give you a recap. So right to the solar, energy usage tracker. And we're going to be improving all these codes, I think, in the section of Monday we're going to add code to all these different projects. So we're going to be improving them, so that's why you need to follow along. So now let's go to the data types uh, and variables right about now. So we're going to define the beauty about learning. Sorry, I keep talking when I'm typing because it helps me to keep up. And then I explain. So the beauty about learning is it's different. You're following a video that is teaching you a skill, and you don't care how long it's going because you're really interesting and you're interested and passionate about it. It's really nice. So here we are taking the data types and variables, and then we're defining the variables for the daily solar generated and consumed. This is variables. So we want to capture the variables. We want to assign variables the daily solar energy generated and consumed, which has to be in form of a float. However, today, as we get to do this, I want to change the style a little bit. uh, we're gonna do the input. Let somebody having the solar input the data, then we use the data. So this is the logic that I'm introducing. Instead of setting assigning the variables, I'm making it much more practical, you know. So somebody is asking which software are we using. So basically, you just have to go to your browser and then you're installing two softwares. So if I'm to just do this new tab, and you're installing Git, you're installing Git just to show you, installing that Git, and then installing VS Code. I installed these things like a long time ago. Yeah, then Visual Studio Code. These are the two that you're installing. So you basically download this one here, and you download Git from here. If you're using Windows, it should be uh, hope that is very clear. Yeah. So these are the two softwares we're using. Nothing else apart from that. So install Git. Install. Let me get this and drop it for you in the chat area. Yeah, I don't want to display a lot of my browser because we have people who don't have what to do, and all they think about is hacking people. It's so disappointing to see that people, that's what they think about. Yeah. So instead of learning, they focus on other things that don't really make them take them anywhere. But anyway, I've shared you the links to what you have to install. Somebody is saying, glad to be here, sir. It is possible for you to zoom a bit. Yeah, perfectly. I can do that. Sure. And that's why I keep checking the messages so that I'm able to flow with you and I don't leave you behind. Yeah, and someone is saying, is it being recorded? Might need to follow up, please. Yes, Mayan, sure deal. This is recorded. You'll be able to follow up. You'll be able to follow up. The only beauty of why you should stay here till the end, it's because when you finish the recording, so it's very easy for you to come back and you learn. Mistakes people do is they never want to be part of the creation, so it becomes very, very, very hard for them later on. Okay, now think let me proceed. Let me proceed to the next part. I'm really happy today because it was evening. We had to do some bit of refreshing. So if you see me like drop off, you just have to refresh your browser, and you'll be able to get me back. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. You need to subscribe so that every time we have a new video, you'll be able to get notified. have a stream, you are right here streaming with us. This is much more important than for you going to class. Take it from me. In class, in lectures, you never get this. No lecturer is going to teach you the way I'm teaching you like this. It's all generated and also we capture the daily energy. We're going to ask a user to input them. For that, you better be ready for that. Yeah. So basically, the kilowatt hour is basically a unit of energy that measures how much electricity you basically use for those that are new to the concept. We are just trying to measure the amount of so I love the fact that people are helping me to share that you use. Share links. Yeah, that is really, really. I gave you enough time to take a break. So daily energy, and I think I'll put up. This is gonna be a float. So we shouldn't use the. So we should just because we are capturing the daily energy generated, and we're also capturing the daily energy consumed, the energy that you consume. Yeah, so these are the two that we're capturing, and this is gonna be a float, and then we want somebody to input this data. I'm using a separate keyboard, so don't worry. So we're gonna ask them to basically enter for us the. And if there's anything you want me to tackle in the future, please you just have to put it in the chat, and I'll be able to tackle it or incorporate it in the algorithms that we write in the code so that you get it. So it's very easy. Consumed. I'm just trying to show you that programming is very easy if it's well interpreted. Okay, so daily energy consumed. That's the capture that we're capturing. So this is done. So somebody will be able to enter this data. And honestly, what makes it really interesting is if I run this here, you're gonna see it's asking me to already enter the daily solar energy that I'm consuming, consumed 34, and so that's the beauty. It makes real life interesting. Yeah, but I'm gonna put it down. Yeah, this laptop I only use it for programming. It's running about I think 2 terabyte of SSD and about 1632. That is RAM. I don't know. Yeah, but it is good. It does a lot of work for me. Even some machine learning algorithm is able to run them because of that kind of capacity. And you can also grab yourself one. I'm not gonna market any sellers, but you just have to buy from manufacturers so that they can do some things for you. Yeah, so we are going to the next part, which is basic operations. Make sure whenever you write code, you save. You do a control save so that you're not disappointed at the end of the day. Yeah. So we're moving on. We're moving on. Somebody's saying that it's not displaying. You're right. Let me check. Let me check why. Yeah, just trying to make sure everything is good. Yeah, I think everything is good. Let me know if you can still hear me because in most cases, if my voice is low, you still let me know. Just trying to make sure everything is good. Um, just to make sure everything is good. The good thing, these are practical sessions, so most cases you just have to refresh. Yeah, yeah. I should be back on your screen. I should be back. Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to type in the chat and say, "Yeah, you're actually back. We can see you." Somebody's saying not very clear, like it was at first. So, if it's not clear for you, you have to increase your resolution. I think on YouTube you have to go to the setting area, then you go to the quality, and then you increase that because I'm streaming at 1080p. So, this is really good. Yeah, that's that's uh, that's the rate at which I'm streaming. So you can increase the resolution from there, so that your screen is bright enough. Um, Wanyama is saying that share with us the screen to see the front end of the workplace. Yeah, I think you can see. I've shared the screen. Hope you can see. If you can't see, basically refresh your browser, and you're gonna have the latest stream where we are at the moment. That's what I'm doing over and over to make sure everything is good. And if you see my eyes looking on the side, that is the screen where you guys are. So I'm trying to see that I can see what you're seeing and I can read your comments. Yeah. So so I would love to see some of those emojis flying high in the screen, and I love to see the likes go higher as well. That's the only way you can pay me back, because this is a free session and this is not something YouTubers do. YouTubers do a lot of games. They play a lot of games. Yeah, okay, let's go to the basic operators since somebody has written that I'm back. So let's go to the basic operators. So which operators are we going to deal with here? So we're going to calculate the energy surplus or the deficit. So we're going to calculate these two. So let me write a comment. We're going to calculate the um, energy. I brought in this concept because it's innovation, so yeah, I was speaking to my niece yesterday, and she was reading the screen. She was like, "That's innovation, baby," and I was like, "Wow." Yeah, so we're gonna define a variable for this, and we're gonna do energy balance. We want to understand the energy balance. Okay, so energy balance is going to be equal to the daily energy generated minus. So we want to know the balance of the energy minus the daily energy consumed. Okay, it's more like how you load your car, electricity basically. I'm speaking to people from different countries, so I shouldn't use the local slangs. You load your electricity, and then you consume the electricity. Then you want to understand the balance. The good thing, the meters already do this math for us. So to understand the energy balance, so if you loaded and you had about 20 units, and then you use 10, that means the balance is 10. So this that system, this is what is behind it. This is the logic that is behind that particular system. So let's do a boolean. So now here, why are we introducing the boolean? We just basically want to determine if the household um, is energy efficient or not. So we want to determine if the household is energy efficient. So where we're gonna look at the consumption, how much you consume, and uh, less, is it less or equal to? We can set this to 80% of the generation. Basically, it's just logic that I'm introducing so that you can know how to play around with this logic. So we basically want to determine if the household is energy efficient. So we are looking at the consumption. How much does this person consume? So if their consumption is less or equal to 80% of the generation, then we can conclude, oh, maybe they're energy efficient or not. So how do we write this condition? So we can say we can set an efficient threshold like we did yesterday on the prices. So we can call this efficiency threshold. Uh, of course, you're gonna ask questions at the end. So if there is anything confusing, please just keep that question on the side, and I'm gonna answer it. So 80%, it's basically 80 out of 100. And if you cancel 1 0 and then you lift the decimal point to the 8, it gives you 0. 0.8. So if you know that mathematics, yeah. So it's going to be 0. 0.8 times, because I can't do percentage here, uh, times the daily energy generated. Yeah. So we multiply this to understand that, and then we're going to do a check and say is energy efficient, is energy efficient. It's going to be equals to daily energy consumed. Now this is the check. No, energy consumed less or equal to efficiency threshold. So efficiency threshold. So that's what we do. And from there, we're basically going to print out. We're gonna print to see some results come out. So let me do the printout, and when you see the results, you're gonna be like, wow, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to see. We're gonna put the results. Okay. So let me just write a title on top. Just do a print, just like yesterday, with next line, and let's do these 223. um, doesn't really matter. Okay. So we're gonna do solar. It's just a title on top of my results. Solar energy usage. Solar energy usage report. Yeah. Okay. So people who come at the hub where I work, these are the codes they're supposed to check out. They're supposed to come on the YouTube channel and then do this, and then I give them problems to solve. So print daily energy generated. So how much energy generated? Remember yesterday I told you that if you're working under the I call them the quotations. I don't know why they're the quotations. The yeah, the curry braces. I'm gonna call them curry braces or something. Someone should type in the chat what they are called. I'm gonna show them to you. Generated. So the unit is kilowatts per hour. So the ones I'm looking for in English are these. I don't know, forgotten their name, and it keeps happening. And it used to happen to me in class when I was teaching students, but they could really correct me on that because they could make me remember, and they tell me. So what else are we looking for here? We are looking for the daily energy consumed. So daily energy consumed. So daily energy consumed. So this should give us what? So we just have to call, and I'm gonna speak about this actually, like I mentioned yesterday. I mentioned that per hour. The only way, the reason why we do these brackets, they call them what? I don't know. Let me just say, put them in those brackets because we are calling daily energy consumed, which we already defined somewhere here, daily energy consumed. So we use these to help us pick that if we are working under these kind of comment tags, you know, uh, you know, yeah. So that's what we do. So the last one, we're gonna print what? Energy balance. Yeah, energy balance. So you print out all the logic that you did, and then in the future I'm gonna show you how to bring that on the interface where someone enters figures and then you basically type them in and then the results come out, on the screen. Energy balance. Here we're gonna be looking at the surplus. We did the surplus divided by the deficit. Yeah. So what do we want to see here? So we want to see the math we did of the energy balance. Yeah, the energy balance exactly. So all this in kilowatts per hour. So I'm going to fast freeze it right here and for you to check that out. And then I look at some of the comments. I see what people are telling me. And I was asking some people to educate me on some things. Let me see if somebody did. Okay. Okay, great. Non-displaying. Share with us the screen to see the front end. I think I did that already. Yes, you're back. Yeah, that was Wanyama. Happy to see you, Valentine. Valentine is the founder of Mindset Coders. They are located around Tinder. That is at Innovation Village. Yeah, I was trying to get my head straight so that I speak something fact. Happy to really see you here, Valentine, to be streaming and also your comment. I'm really, really happy and privileged to have you part of the stream. You could as well share to all the teams at the Innovation Village, all those different folks and the different students who are trying to learn programming and everybody else. Yeah, this is free session for them. Let everybody learn programming in Africa. So that is great. That is what will keep me smiling and everyone else when I get past so many kids and they're like, oh, yeah, you taught me programming. I'll be very, very happy to see that. Yeah, so we're gonna see some bit of results. We're gonna see some bit of results here. Let me try to run something on screen, uh, just basically to put in a few units. So if I run my code, if I press this button here, run my code, it's going to ask me to enter the daily energy generated. So I think everyday kilowatts per hour, I'll put 20. I'll put 20, then I do enter. It's asking me for the daily solar energy consumed. How much do I consume? I'll put 18 so that my calculation works. So it has now calculated everything and it's telling me that the solar energy report is here. Daily energy generated is 20 kilowatts per hour. The daily energy consumed is 18 kilowatts per hour. And your energy balance is basically 2 kilowatts per hour. So that is the calculation. You can also run your code so that you see results within a minute. You can type anything for me, like a comment. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. That's the only way you can pay back this stream, by doing that. Yeah, so let me write a little bit of, let me add something on this code. Let's say, let me see, let me think, what should we do? Let's say that if the energy is efficient, then we should return great job. Your household is energy efficient. That is, if you're using energy properly. But if you're not using it well, we should be able to give a notification to to the house owner that consider reducing energy consumption so that you can improve efficiency. So let's write that because these are the notifications these foxes want to get in most cases on their mobile phones, and uh, that's what determines that's what defines innovation. So we're gonna say is energy efficient. Yeah, is energy efficient. So we do that check, and if yes, obviously. So that is if this mathematics, if the result here shows that you're not consuming more than what you generate, then it should print. It's a great job. Okay. Oh, um you are that's interesting. Sorry, I love playing a lot of games when I'm typing. Household is energy efficient. Yeah, so energy efficient. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so else if it's not, then we should be able to print something else like let me say I mentioned that consider reduction, consider reducing energy consumption. My dad used to put off the fridge, and then later he realized that actually the television we had, the smart TV, consumes more powers compared to the fridge. Yeah, he's a seasoned engineer from contractor from civil electrical, so he's a guy who taught me a lot to do with electricity and basically energy, just to speak like a technical person. Yeah, yeah. So we have that. So let's see what can we have from this. Um, Let me give it a check and see. So I'm gonna clear this out, and I'm gonna run again, and let me do 34, 23. So the report is yeah, it's telling me energy is 11, and then saying great job, your household is energy efficient. So because of the mathematics, because of the logic, now it returns and gives a feedback, and this is the information that appears on the interface when someone is using an app or someone is using could be any notification device that you're using at home to basically get notifications, and this simple logic gives you results and can do all that kind of monitoring. So anyway, let me think of something else. I'm doing this because some of you are writing what I'm writing, and you're trying to learn how to add things together. So let me say let's add some bit of battery calculations. So let me say, let me call this I'll call this a kind of the advanced feature for this session. So let me say require battery. If let's say you need some bit of battery calculations here. Okay, so let's say you're doing some bit of backup, and we can add backup days, and the backup days are three basically. So these are basically the number of days to backup. So number of days to backup. So we can look at the required storage. How much storage do we need? When you're writing more than one word, you need to put that underscore required storage. So it's gonna be uh, daily energy. Looking at daily energy consumed uh, times the backup days. So it can give us the required storage. Yeah. So it comes from mathematics. So you should be able to figure it out things by basically first doing the mathematics, and then you write the logic using arithmetics. Okay, backup days. So here now we can print our last thing here. So we can just say, mm-hmm, we can say required battery, required battery storage, capacity for so I can just bring in this so that I make life easy for myself. I pick up the backup days, capacity required for the backup days that we need. Um, then I just need to pick up the required storage, and then it gives me the result in kilowatts per hour. Yep. So this is what we have right here. So I'm going to basically run this code, and then I give you room for you to run your code and ask some questions if you can. So let me enter 34. Let me enter 23. Gives me the result, and it's telling me that required battery storage capacity for 3 days is basically 69.0 kilowatts per hour. So I'm gonna put this down, create enough room for you to write your code, and I focus on some of the comments that you may be having right here on screen. Um, okay, here, okay, so Mutebi Justin is saying, thank you, sir, for this. Because I have been so desperate to learn Python. I was so green on Python. Now that you are putting up these sessions, then I am happy. Thank you very much. Yeah, you welcome. You welcome, Alan. I really feel happy that you are learning from me, and you are learning from the videos I'm putting up, which are project based. Justin is asking, how do I put those different colors in my code, sir? Okay, yeah, that's beautiful. So if you wanna get this bit of colors, you'll have to come to the extensions, the area for the extensions, and you install a few things. I don't even remember. It's been a while. Beautify or something. Beautify. There used to be Beautify. You could, since you're writing in Python, you could just search Python, and if you search Python, it should be able to bring for you certain things you should install. Uh, like this feature um, for VS Code. This is an extension. Indenting. This is really perfect. Can help you. This is Python indent. So if you install it, will help to make code nice. So I can install that and leave it. So auto doc string. So generate Python doc string. So this could be like commenting. This is commenting in your code. I can just install it. Uh, so quite a number of things here. So you can basically Google whatever you want. You want to make code nice, and then it will be able to do that for you. So yeah, so I'll just close this area. I just wanted to show you what to do. I'll close. Of course, they'll require me to refresh, but that's what you do, basically. Okay, so it's amazing to still have you all. Um, Today is a Saturday. Saturday and Sunday evenings are mostly about football for me. I'm a big fan of football because it helps me understand logic, looking at how the coaches play around with their heads and numbers and players. So for me, I'll be watching soccer, but it's like I'm writing code, and that's the beauty, that I don't miss any games when it comes to football. So today evening football, tomorrow evening football. So the next one is gonna be on Monday. Um, Let me see. It's gonna be on Monday. I think I need to do Monday in the morning hours. Yeah, I understand some people have classes. So I'm thinking about it. Should I put it? Because I'd planned the only morning hour to be Saturday. Then the rest of the days it's evening. No, it's gonna be evening. It will not be morning. It will be evening. And the reason why, still the reason why I do evening is because I have my friends in Canada and the US. So because of the time difference, that will be a bit of morning for them, and it's very easy for them to sink in. So that's why if I do in the morning like right now, it's pretty really late for them. It's evening, so they're having dinner or they are getting to bed, and yeah, and they have to keep up, which is okay. Yeah. So you mark the days, like I told you: Saturday morning, Monday, 7 p.m., Thursday with JavaScript, Friday 7 p.m. So those are the days we're streaming. And the other days I'm onto the podcast. You can listen to the podcast. You basically need to search my name, Edison Kagona, in Spotify, in Apple Podcasts, in Fountain, Amazon Music, and all those different streaming platforms. You'll find my podcast there. So I do them on Sunday after my prayers. So you can see how I'm occupied, fully. Yeah, please. Hope you've written with me, Code, and hope everything is good. Hope you managed to pick up a few things in today's session. You can now ask me questions in the chat area if you can. If you're having questions, drop them in. Uh, yeah, so you can help me, you can help me share this video to all your friends that you feel want to learn programming and they're finding it hard. I'm very confident that my way of writing code is neat and it follows all the different conventions, and it will help them to really understand programming without any problem, and they're gonna find it easy. And if they can join our live streams, then they'll be able to ask me questions directly, and I'll be able to answer them directly. I'm not gonna upload this code anywhere on, say, GitHub, and no, I'm not gonna do that because it makes students lazy. It makes people lazy because they're just going to go there and download the code, and they run it instead of writing the code themselves. So I would love people to learn uh, in the best way possible by following what I'm saying and following everything and doing it and making things happen and following up in the future episodes and also asking questions, commenting. So yeah, so I'll not be uploading the code anywhere. That is how we're going to be moving forward. So we are going to be improving this code on Monday. So what kind of improvements are we going to do? We are going to add in more logic. We're going to add in more logic. You're understanding how to put logic into code and make things happen. So we're going to add functions. For example, for energy, we're going to add functions like get positive float, where we write a function to basically get the positive float input from the user, stuff like that. And we define functions within that basically get the solar energy generated. So we're basically gonna improve this code much, much, much more better, and then we print out everything, and everything is really, really great. And also with the first one, we're gonna do the same thing with the agricultural produce pricing system. So hope you had a very great experience today in this particular session. uh, I'll be reading the last comments. If you can type in the chat, I'll give it only 5 minutes, and then I'll be closing this session. Surprisingly, we've been very fast in this particular session because wow, wow, because 10, because we started from 10, we're supposed to go 10 to midday. I still have a lot of time, so we still have enough time. I think I'm going to improve the code. I'm going to go back to the code for. I'm going to start by improving the code for the solar, and then I improve the code for um, the first code we did for the session one, which was about the farming something, yeah, forecasting or something. So I'm gonna do it for Monday, so that Monday we focus on something much more complex. We take it to the next level. Uh, okay, so I'll give you just 2 3 minutes, and I'll take a glass of water. Yeah. I've just told somebody that I'm making these videos for my kids to learn from when I'm gone. Yeah, it's really an interesting one. I know most of you fear to die, but you're not gonna die. So you shouldn't be scared of death. Yeah. We're streaming on all different platforms, so you can check out our streams on LinkedIn, streaming under my profile. You can check that out. We're live, and on Twitter, still streaming over there. You can check that out. Yeah, so should be able to access all these different things without any problem. Okay, great. Yeah, so now let me touch base again. Okay, let me see what we're gonna do to improve a little bit of the code. I'm just trying to teach you now how to play around with code, and you introduce a few things in code. You know, just getting to teach you that. Let's see what we have. Mhm, interesting. This is what we have. Okay, let me see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, if I delete some of the code, it might get some people to get lost. So what I'm gonna do, I don't wanna call it section three. Um, let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna define something here. So I'm gonna define a function. So this is how we define a function. I'm gonna say get positive float. So we just want to get a positive float, and we're gonna prompt we're gonna prompt for that. So what are we doing here? So basically, we're gonna write a function. Like I said, commenting is very important for someone to understand what you're doing. So we're gonna write a function to get uh, a function to get a positive float input from the user. So basically, when the user enters data, because you may you may not expect a user may just enter figure, they may not enter 20.0 or 12.1. Sometimes they'll just enter figure, and yet for you want to write logic. You've seen when you enter your details, you actually notice that the return is more like 20.0, or when you load electricity, you notice that the figures coming is 21.2 units or dot zero. So in most cases, the user has no idea about your logic. So you have to write a function that is going to prompt that, to prompt what you want at the end of the day. So that's what we're trying to do here. So Motebi Allen is saying, sir, do you also help in R programming? R programming, yeah, I'm very good in R, but I prefer Python because everything you can do in R, I can do it better in Python. So you don't have to stress your head with R because you can do it better with Python, and you can write APIs and you develop front ends and etc. without any big hassle. But R is good as well, and I'm very good at it as well. Still, you're saying that you're a student of Cavendish. Wow, by the way, yeah, I didn't know. Huh, that is super. Wow. Wow, 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 that is super. Actually, you've reminded me. Let me send. We have a branch. Um, we have a branch in Zambia, and I want to check one of the heads there. Let me just send him a link. Let me send to Oscar. Yeah. Uh, I'm telling him that sorry, I forgot. Uh, Zambia campus can hear from our public and programming live streams community. Yeah, so just sending him a message. I'm telling him that we stream every Thursday, Friday, um, at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 10 a.m. and Monday at why don't I just keep it here? A.m. So I just have to say we stream every Monday. Yeah, Monday, Thursday, Friday at 7 p.m. for 2 hours. For 2 hours. I don't have to mention this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Touring from Silicon Valley. So I'm just telling him these are sponsored by Touring from Silicon Valley, USA. It's North California, USA. Stop it there. Yeah, just wanted to let him know. I forgot. Okay, great. So I'm done. I'm done. Okay, there are people who got lost and something like, what happened? The video has been removed by the uploaders. So they're like, I can't find it. Yeah, we need to be smart. You just refresh your browser and you're good. Yeah, okay. People are saying, sir, do you help in R? Okay, already done with that. And I'm doing data science. Wow, you're doing data science. That means all the guys you're studying with data science should really be part of this stream. Really, really, they should. Uh, because you'll not get anything like this from anywhere. Uh, you won't, to be honest. Okay, we're writing a function to basically get a positive float input from the user. So here we're gonna move and say we're gonna use a boolean and say while true. So while true that it's a boolean, we wanna do a try and we wanna get a value here and say equals to float. and we want to get an input of this value, and then we check the prompt. Let me see. This is a prompt. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Uh, fine. So we say that if value um, da, 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 da. Yeah. So say if value is say less than zero that you've entered, we are trying to do a validation here because someone may give you a negative one. We want to print and tell someone and tell them that please enter. Shit. That please enter a positive. Sure. Enter positive number. Yeah. Yeah. This can do. Okay. Yeah. Enter a positive number. Else, we can tell them to um, we if that means if the number is positive, then we basically return that value, and after we return that value, we we do the accept. So we basically doing the value error. So some of these will come easy. Uh, okay, so now what do we return here? Invalid input. So that means so if you don't enter the positive number, so what do you get here? Sorry, I pressed this so loud it even scared me. Yeah, so here is gonna be da, 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 da. It's gonna be it's gonna be um invalid input. So it's a please enter numeric value. So input so please enter. What's wrong with me? A numeric value. Yeah, my hands are cold. Yeah, so I just added in a bit of logic. Uh, just added in a bit of logic here, so you can see that bit of logic and what it's doing. Uh, yeah. So I guess you can see what we're doing. So we're adding in logic to help us do better. Somebody was trying to call me. I need to let them know that I am live. I'm live. Join. They should join the stream. They should join the stream and they talk to me uh, because they're trying to call me. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. I believe there are very many people, I guess, who tried to maybe join and because of the stream. So I'm gonna stop sharing the link to the stream so that people join when the stream starts. Yeah, I think you can see that logic, and it's very easy. We are basically doing a check to make sure that when values users enter, they're actually numeric values. Someone doesn't enter something else. So if they enter something else, they should receive a value error telling them you should input a numeric value. So these are validations that are very important to code to avoid uh, to, to avoid storing a lot of unnecessary things within the databases. So validation is really key. So you can see what we've done with the code. You see how we're improving from what we had before to what we have, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and improve something else still here. I'm gonna keep the code. I'm gonna leave the code to stay. I'm gonna leave everything to stay. But when it's better to always write a code um, within a function. So I'm gonna put it in a function main. So I'm gonna move it one step ahead. So I've moved it one step ahead from this particular line. You can see I pressed the tab button. So I highlighted all the code up to down from here, and then I pressed the tab to move it a step. So I've moved it a step from here up to here. So basically, to be clear about that. So I'm basically now gonna come here and put all this code into uh, put it inside I would say container, but to lie into a function. So it's gonna be in the function main. So then I'll just put that, so it's all falling into my functional main, up to down, and then down here and basically I'm simply gonna put if if name here is equal to, oh come on, don't do that. Okay, main. Mm-hmm. Hush. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, you know how hard it is to teach people of different levels. Uh, some of you may be wondering why I'm teaching the way I'm teaching. It's because how I'm training the way I'm training. It's because I'm trying to make sure that if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, or you're an expert, or you know about Python, you all rhyme at the same time. You all find it friendly. You all find that you're learning. So it all comes from my experience of teaching. That's why I'm able to do this. But some of you may be finding it so slow. Some people, depending on their experience, uh, you know. So I'm trying to balance the speed. And if you're so good, if you feel you're an expert, then I'll advise you to go and take tests and challenges of Turing. And if you pass them all, then you don't need to come and watch what I'm doing in Python. But if you haven't passed them, you better stay here. Yeah, because what I'm doing is what will help you pass them. Because I'm a tech lead with them. That means I'm beyond level 4. Um, I can program in more than 2 programming languages, and so that's why you should. So anyway, that's what I've done. Sorry about that. I was just giving you information there. Some fellows I know who are stubborn who'll be like, I don't need that. I don't need that station. I'm good. You take a challenge, and if you fail the test, you'll be like, you know what? I think I need to go back. I need to learn some things. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think we've done this perfectly well. Can I get some feedback in the chat? You can write some things in the chat there for me to read. Any questions you may have for me, you can put them up there. We're having about less than 20 minutes. It's about 17 minutes to because it's the stream is supposed to be for only 2 hours. So we've written the code, we've improved the code. You can see how greatly we've improved it. We've now incorporated all the code lies within the function of main, which is more like a container. We've added a validation here to make sure that people, whatever they enter, is actually whatever they enter is actually a floating value. Basically, it's validation because the users do not understand this kind of logical code. For them, they're going to enter whatever they find to enter. And I've tried to be very slow in my explanations. I've not been explaining very fast the way the way I could be speaking right now. I've been very slow, very slow, to say that everybody picks up. So yeah. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna use them to improve the code for the project that we had yesterday. And because on Monday I want to pick up from this code to make it much more better. So I want to pick up from this code on Monday. Yeah. So adding a lot of logic, improve the code. You can see the improvements we've done. It's becoming much more professional. And yeah. So in most cases, when you're writing code, you start scrappy and then you start aligning things together, provided you're commenting through, and later you start calling different, yeah. So that's how we move. Yeah. So I'm waiting to see some bit of inputs there in the charts. They make me feel better. So let me try to do this. Sorry, getting back to you. Uh, I'm just getting back to you. I'm just trying to share a window, not the entire screen, so that I'm able to look at my streaming platform and be sure. So people who are streaming from Twitch, if you're streaming from LinkedIn, if you're streaming from Twitter, feel free to put in your comments. Like I mentioned, I'm using streaming software which is premium and fully paid for, so I can respond to your question and it will come right where you are, whether you're using Twitch, whether you're LinkedIn, then you're gonna get it right from me. Okay, so I'll respond to some of these things. Uh, Yeah, so I'm just basically replying. So we're gonna have only 15 minutes for me to wrap up the project that we held yesterday, just to add in a few things, and we make it much more professional. And if you missed the stream of yesterday, go back and watch it so that you can catch up with us. Uh, this is gonna be running for like 2 weeks, so you can imagine by 2 weeks where we're gonna be. We shall be able to develop an entire system in Python, and you know, yeah, you know, so you should do that. You should do that. There are so many founders that I'm seeing on the stream. They have texted me and they're showing me that yeah, I'm streaming from this platform. I appreciate to see you all there. At least it brings a voice to programming, and it improves everything. And we need to appreciate Achilles Akesho for what it's doing now, because it's now empowering the community. It's giving out free knowledge to the community, to the people. Uh, you know, so we need uh, to give a thumbs up to them for that sponsorship and touring. Cavendish University, Uganda, Cisco, all those different platforms, IBM, that do support communities learning, programming, goal solving problems. And I do work with them all. I do support them. I'm a consultant with many organizations, so um, it helps me keep up. So right about now, I'm going away from the solar. I'm going to the problem of yesterday, and I just want to look at this code again and see what we can improve here. Whatever we are doing with the other problem is the same that we're doing with this other problem. So it's basically meant for you to understand. So yesterday, like I mentioned, we dealt with the agricultural produce pricing system. So I'm going to basically add one logic. I'm going to add the logic for the. I think it should be the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a function to basically get a positive float. Yeah, something. So get a positive prompt float, and then I'm gonna do a prompt, like I mentioned. Gonna do a prompt, and then okay. So let me write a comment. Like I told you, it's a very good practice to have comments. So basically, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna write a function to get a positive float input from the user. so function to get um, a positive float input from the user. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be doing. So just like we did on the solar project, I'm gonna say while true, then I'm gonna need to make a check with a try and say that value float, and then I need to do a prompt to convert that value to, no matter what it is, to be a float. To do that prompt, and then I need to make a check and say that if the value, because the value may be below zero, like negative, someone may say negative zero, people can surprise your life. So if value is zero, uh, same thing, I want to print out and say that please you need to enter a positive number. So print, please enter a positive number. Hope today you love the background sound. Yeah, positive number. Like I told you, I love to be very stubborn at times. You know, especially if I'm doing something that is gonna take so many hours. Have to play some bit of sound to feel motivated. So return value. So return value here. We are returning the value. That's what I'm trying to say. And then now here we're gonna do an exception handling. So we're gonna do except we do a value error, and we basically need to print out a message in case, and we just say invalid input, and then we say I'll say please enter um, a numeric value. So that's what we're gonna say. Yeah. So I hope this makes a lot of sense here right now. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's okay. Yeah. So uh hope you understand, we on the same level right here. Okay, okay, okay. I'm not seeing any comments, so I believe everything is good. So that's what we've added. Um so I'm going to just what else? So let's also put all this data um from the basic input. So I'm basically gonna copy it all like we did, up to down, and then I'll click a tab, and then I'm going to make sure everything is on this particular line, same line. So later, when we get to learn about classes and objects, you're gonna see a lot of change. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay. So now everything is within the function main, and then all I need to do down here is da 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 da. Okay, gonna do that if the main. Oh my god. If the main. By the way, we hit 1K sub, so that means we're doing a great job. Having so many people from North America who did shouts out and subscribed, so that was super from you. And yeah, we expect to do better. Okay, so let me see what do we have here. So I'm saying if sorry, da 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 da, if the name na 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 everything is good. Yeah. So if I'm to run this, it will tell me enter the quantity of maize sold. I'll do 34. Oh, sorry. Okay, quantity I'll do 45. I'll do 65. Let me leave it the way it is. Enter the quantity of rice. I'll do 56. It will do the calculation and it will tell me that the revenue from maize is this, revenue from beans is this, revenue from rice is this, the total revenue is this. You consider everything is in a float, and then congratulations, you qualify for a bonus. I think I didn't write that qualify properly. should be around here. This is qualify, which is fine. Then average historical price of maize is this over here. So everything works perfectly, and the code is super professional. And if you're able to do this, you can even get hired today. I think my next video uh, thumbnail should be having "get hired today." Yeah. So if I'm also if I'm to basically run this code as well to be sure that we didn't go wrong. Okay. It's basically trying to connect to this side. But anyway, that's it. Unless if you have anything to ask me, I'll be more than happy to answer that. However, we only have less than 5 minutes to close here. So I'll basically mention that you guys have been great guys to have today, and I appreciate everybody who has come out to ask a question, and I appreciate you all that have invited other people to join the stream. And I apologize to all those that joined a bit late. Only thing you needed to do was to refresh your browser or to go to Achilles Acacia and you see the live and then you join the live, especially if you're using the old link. Yeah, so the future stream, I'll not share the links. I'll just share the link when the stream has begun. That's what will happen. But you receive notifications. You receive notifications. I'm gonna check out how I can put that alert of an early notification. I'll try to find out how possible that is for me to do. But I really appreciate everybody, and I'm going to be stepping off. I'm gonna be getting off this live. So if you have any question, you could ask me right about now, and I get to answer that question before I go off the live. And yeah, I'll be more than happy to see you on Monday. Yeah, so don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. That is the only way you can pay me back for these 2 hours that I'm dedicating to giving back to the community through Achilles Acacia. Um, and don't forget to check out the podcasts by checking and basically checking by my name, Amazon Music, Edison Kagona. You just write that, or you can put the Achilles Acacia. Uh, you can put Achilles Acacia in Apple Podcasts, Achilles Acacia in Spotify, Fontaine, quite a lot of them. All those streaming platforms we there. We are being sponsored uh, by rss.com. Yeah, I think with the podcast, yeah, we're being sponsored by them and also being sponsored by Riverside. So, yeah, so you should be able to do that. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been really, really great to have you here. Now stepping off the stream, I appreciate everybody who has been here and hope we get to touch base on Monday. And that will be 7 p.m. You'll be receiving the notifications if you subscribed. And if you haven't, I request you to subscribe so that you never miss a thing. This is Python to the World, sponsored by Achilles Acacia, Cavendish University, Uganda, Turing from the Silicon Valley, Cisco from the Silicon Valley, and Python Institute. So thank you so much. Until next time, have a great day, have a great night, have a great morning. From wherever you are in the world, you should have a great time. And you can come back to the stream, watch it again, do what I'm doing, and you can still put in comments. I'll get notifications and I'll respond to those kind of questions. So bye bye. End of the session for all.